Whoops. Okay, for these, okay, 1 and 2. First they say, in the directions say, rewrite each polynomial in standard form. Okay, standard form is just starting off with the term with the biggest exponent here, and then, so we'll write this term first, and then just go down there in order of exponents. Start off with the biggest exponent, and then the next biggest one is squared. Next one is the minus 3x, and then plus 2. Okay, and then the directions, then they say for A, find the leading coefficient. So leading coefficient is just the number, the first number you see. Since it's just x cubed, there's really like a 1 here, and that's the leading coefficient. Okay, the next thing they say to find is degree. So the degree is just the biggest exponent, and that's 3. Okay, the next thing in the directions they say for C, find the number of terms, and there's just 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then the name, okay, so the fact that the degree is 3, it's a cubic. So start off with like the name for the degree. And the fact that there's 4 terms, we'll just have to call it a polynomial. 4 or more. It's always polynomial. Okay, put this in standard form. Term with the biggest exponent we'll write first. Okay, leading coefficient, the first number you see, -7. The degree, the biggest exponent that you see. The number of terms, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then start off with the degree is 4. So the name for something with a degree 4 is a quartic. And then the number of terms is 3. So it's a trinomial. Okay, so quartic trinomial. Okay, next one says add or subtract. Write your answer in standard form. Okay, so this is not foiling. The only time you foil is when there's nothing in between the parentheses. That's when you foil. But if there's something there, that plus sign, so since there's a plus sign, then we'll add. Okay, and adding is easy. Really, this is one step, and all adding is just combining like terms. So just go one at a time. You don't even need to get rid of parentheses. So just start combining like terms. You have 2x cubed and 5x cubed, 7x cubed. Okay, and I'll cross them out just as we go. Okay, you only have one x squared term, so that we just rewrite. You have a 7x minus 6x. That's just a x. And then you have a 9 plus 1 is 10. Okay, subtraction is almost the same thing, except you just have to remember that, so this subtraction is kind of like a negative. That's going to, so like this is going to distribute to each of these and just change the signs of these. So anything in the second set of parentheses, you'll just rewrite it, but with an opposite sign. Okay, first ones you just rewrite the same. All the terms in the first set of parentheses, just rewrite those. And then you're going to rewrite all these terms here, but just an opposite sign. So this is a negative 3x squared, so we'll write a positive 3x squared. Here you have a positive 8x, so we'll do a negative 8x minus 8x. Okay, and then a positive 7 turns into a negative 7. All right, and then now, just like the last one, we'll combine like terms. So start off with the biggest exponent, and there's no like terms to that since there's no other x cubes. Okay, These squared terms, minus 3x squared plus 3x squared, those just cancel, so we don't have to write anything. Okay, we just have one x term, so just rewrite it, and then those two numbers just add. So 8 minus 7, just 1. Okay, next one says find each product. And remember, the word product in math means multiply. Okay, for the first one, since it's just a monomial out front, multiplying means distribute. For the number 6, since it's not a monomial, it's two things added, out front. This one we're going to FOIL once we come to that. Okay, so that's the plan. Okay, first thing, distribute. So negative 5x times x cubed, negative 5x to the 4th. Okay, remember there's an exponent here of 1, and so remember you add exponents when you multiply. So okay, then negative 5x times 2x, negative 10x squared, and then negative 5x times negative 7. So negative 5 times negative 7 is positive 35, and then just the x goes with it. Okay, nice thing about these when you're just distributing is you'll never have to combine like terms at the end, because none of these will be like terms, so that'll just be the answer. Okay, next one we'll have to FOIL. Okay, so we'll do 5x squared times 2x cubed, 10x to the 5th. Right, just do 5 times 2 is 10. And then x squared times x cubed. You add exponents when you multiply, you get x to the 5th. 5x squared times minus 3x squared, negative 15. And then add the exponents. Negative 30. And then x cubed. Okay, so we did the 5x squared times each of those. Now we'll do 2 times each of those. So 2 times 2 is 4. Minus 6. Minus 12. Okay, now we combine like terms. So start off with the biggest exponent. There's only one of those. We'll just rewrite it. Next biggest, only one of those, so we'll rewrite that. Okay, the x cubed, there's 2 x cubes. So negative 30 plus 4 is negative 26, and that just stays x cubed. There's only one of the last two, so there's only one x squared, so we'll write that, and only one x term, so we'll write that. Okay, so far we've added, subtracted, and multiplied, and now we'll divide. Okay, so dividing is when you do dividing with polynomials like this, you can either do synthetic or long, but you can only do synthetic when there's just an x. So since this is just an x, we can do synthetic. Okay, way to do it is we'll kind of set this thing up first, actually. Let me do that. Okay, and then you look at the divisor. Whatever number's in the divisor, you put the opposite out front. Okay, and then whatever numbers are in here, just the numbers, you put them in here. Okay, this one you just got to be careful that it skips over an x term, so you can kind of think of it as a 0x. So when we're putting these numbers 2, 4, and then 0, minus 5. Okay, then synthetic division, the first thing is bring down the first number. And then after that, you're always going to multiply the new number that comes down here. You're always going to multiply it by -3 and put the answer in the middle. So 2 times -3, -6. And then these two numbers you'll always add. Okay, that -2 times by -3, and then add. 6 times -3, and then add. Okay, and then now you just have to remember this is the this is the remainder, and then these three numbers you'll turn into put them back with x's. So, this will be 2x cubed minus 2x plus 6, and the remainder is negative, so we'll do minus. And then whatever the divisor was, in this case x minus 3, you'll put the remainder over that. And that's it. Okay, since this divisor has a number times x, you have to do long division for this one. Okay, so we'll set up this long division problem. Okay, divisor goes out front. And everything there goes inside here. Okay, and then now we're going to do the same 4 steps over and over. So first thing is always divide, but divide what? Okay, so you always divide the first term here with, in this case, 4x. Every time we divide for this problem, we're going to divide by 4x, not the 3. You kind of ignored the 3 when you're dividing. Okay, so I'll do all this is just scratch work off to the side for the most part. Okay, so remember the first thing here, 12x cubed divided by 4x. Okay, and then you simplify that. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And then x cubed divided by x is x squared. Okay, that you put up here with the square term. Okay, and then you take this and multiply this by the divisor. That. And then distribute. Oh, that's the multiplying. Actually, that's the next step is multiply, and that's what I just did. So multiply by the divisor. All right, then I'll take that and kind of put that here, rewrite that. Okay, and the next step, step 3, is subtract. Okay, so now we'll subtract. Okay, so just got to be careful. So 12x cubed minus 12x cubed, those cancel. And then you got to be careful with this one. Negative, kind of ignore the x squared for a second. So negative 11 minus 9 is negative 20. And then, so that's negative 20x squared. Okay, next step, we're going to bring down. That's the last kind of step that before we start repeating. All right, so those are all the steps. We just have to keep repeating those. Okay, so bring that down, and then we'll go back to the beginning, which is dividing. Okay, so we'll take the first thing here and divide it by that 4x. Negative 20x squared divided by 4x. Okay, negative 20 divided by 4, that simplifies to be 5. And then x squared divided by x is 5, is just x. Okay, that we'll put up here with the x's. Okay, after we divide, now we multiply. Multiply by the divisor. And then distribute. Okay, and then we'll line that up under here. Okay, and then we'll subtract. Okay, these cancel out since you're subtracting the same thing. Okay, this you got to be careful of again. So 9 minus a negative 15. So minus a negative is plus. So 9 plus 15 is 24. And then the x stays with it. Okay, since we just subtracted, the next step is bring down. And then do one more. This will take one more round of steps. Okay, first thing down here, divide it by 4x. Okay, the x's cancel, and then 24 divided by 4 is just 6. Put that up there. Multiply it by the divisor. And line it up. Okay, now when you subtract, everything cancels, and there's no remainder. If there's no remainder, then whatever's up here is the final answer for this. All right, so this page is all about factoring. Okay, so first thing we'll talk about how to recognize what type it is. Okay, so here, the x squared, since there's no number in front of the x squared, this is a normal method. All right, and then for normal method, you think about what two numbers multiply to be the last number. So what two numbers multiply to be negative 14, and then add up to be the middle one, negative 5. So if we look at negative 5 and negative 14, then 2 and negative 7, those multiply to be negative 14, and they add up to be negative 5. Okay, so those two numbers that we found, we just put those in parentheses with x's, and that's it for this type. Okay, next one. This is difference of two squares, or difference of squares. Okay, and the way you can tell is first off it's difference because subtraction means difference in math. And then the other reason is everything can be written as something squared. So 4 is 2 squared. X squared is already written as something squared, just x squared. And then 5 can be written as, or 25 can be written as 5 squared. So notice everything is being squared, and that kind of tells you it's difference of two squares. Okay, and then with difference of two squares, you're going to have the same thing in both parentheses, but one's going to be plus and one's going to be minus. And then the thing that goes first are just the numbers being squared. So 2 and x. And that goes the first in both of them. And then the second thing is just the last number that's being squared, which is 5, and that goes last here. That's it. Oops. Okay, so the next one. Sorry, I kind of got distracted. I don't know if that was a weird edit. Okay, next one. Okay, so this is divide and slide. So why is this definitely divide and slide? Okay, because there's a number in front of the x squared that's not the GCF. So 2 is not the GCF, so you can't pull it out. And so that's why this is divide and slide. Okay, for divide and slide, you take this first number, kind of get rid of it, and multiply it by the last. So when you multiply it by the last, you get -4. And then you kind of start solving it like a normal method. So what two numbers multiply to be -4, or I'll start off add up to be 3, multiply to be -4. That's 4 and -1. This would be x plus 4 and x minus 1. Okay, and then the next thing is whatever number here that you kind of got rid of, you bring it back and divide both of these by that. So divide these by 2. Okay, and then you'll simplify those fractions as much as you can. So 4 over 2 is 2. And then the other one you can't simplify, so it just stays a half. All right, and then any denominators that are left after you simplify, you bring out and multiply by x. So that'll become a 2x minus 1. And that's it. Okay, next one is definitely factor by grouping. Okay, reason why is because there's 4 terms. All right, with factor by grouping, you pull out, kind of focus on the first 2 terms, pull out the GCF. Okay, so GCF between those is x squared, and you pull it out, and you're left with x minus 1. Okay, and then focus on the next 2 terms, pull out the GCF. So the GCF between those is 9. Okay, but because this is a minus, you'll put a minus here. Okay, so pull out that, you get same thing, x minus 1. So that's good that we got the same thing. So pretty much have to get the same thing. X minus 1, x minus 1. Okay, and then those, the x minus, whoops, I say whoops a lot. So the x minus 1, you kind of, both those x minus 1s kind of just go into 1. And then the 2 GCFs that we pulled out just get put into another set of parentheses. Okay, so that's factored, but this particular one, you can factor more because x squared minus 9 is a difference of 2 squares factoring problem. And so this factors into x plus 3 and x minus 3. And that's it. All right, this one is difference of 2 cubes, or just difference of cubes. Okay, reason is because difference is subtraction. And then these can be written as things cubed. So like 27 is 3 cubed, and x cubed is already written as something cubed. All right, and then these have a formula that I'm going to give on the test. And the formula is, for For this one, difference of two cubes, a cubed minus b cubed. Okay, so now you just have to figure out what's a and b. And the way to do it is to compare it to the left-hand side. Compare like this to the left-hand side. So you can see like when you compare this, like the first thing being cubed here is a. Right, you can see both of these are something cubed. So like a is 3. And the same thing, the next thing being cubed is x, so b is x. All right, and then these you just plug into the right-hand side of this formula. And when you plug these into the right-hand side of this formula, that's just the answer for these. Whoops, that was weird. Oh, shit. Okay. Wait, what happened there? Sorry. Oh, I guess that's it. Okay. Okay, so now just plug in into this formula. So a is 3, b is x, a is 3, and then a is 3, b is x, so that's 3x, and then b is x, so that's x squared. That's it. All right, this last one is the last factoring type is the only one that had a GCF that I put. Okay, so if it has a GCF, you have to pull it out. Okay, GCF here will be 2x. So we'll pull that out. And then 64. All right, so you have to pull out the GCF before you can figure out what type it is. And then you look at the inside and see that this is sum of two cubes. Okay, so this one we'll use a formula for. Okay, and then kind of the same as the last one, we'll kind of rewrite this. So that's just cubed, and then rewrite this as something cubed. That's 64 is 4 cubed. And then now we can see, once we do that, we can see like here x is a, and this 4 is b. Okay, and then we'll just go over to the right-hand side of the formula, and then plug in a and b. Or plug in x for a and 4 for b. Okay, so a is x, b is 4, a is x. A and b are 4 and x, so this is 4x. And then b is 4, so 4 squared is 16. Okay, and then don't forget, if you have a GCF, which was 2x, you have to write that out front. Okay, next one. Okay, this one is just listing the possible rational zeros. Okay, so this is the one where you do the P and Q thing. So P is the last number, and don't worry about the negative. And then Q is the first number. You do factors. And then factors of 6. All right. And then now we'll do possible rational zeros. All right, and then now, okay, so the way I do it is I'll take kind of each one of these and divide it by 1. And then take each one of these separately, divide by 2. Each one of these divide by 3. Each one of these divide by 6. Just kind of go one at a time. Okay, so first when you divide each of these by 1, they just stay the same. So first we'll just get these back. Okay, now we'll divide each of these by 2. So do 1 divided by 2, just 1/2. Okay, you do 2 divided by 2, that's 1, so you don't have to duplicate that. We've already got a 1 here. I do 3 divided by 2, we don't have one of those. Okay, 4 divided by 2 is 2, and we already have that. 6 divided by 2 is 3, we already got that. Next one is 9 divided by 2. Okay, 12 divided by 2 is 6, we've got 6, and we've got the rest. Okay, so let's divide by 3. So 1 divided by 3, 2 divided by 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1, so we don't have to do that. 4 divided by 3. Okay, 6 divided by 3 is 2, we've already got a 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3, we've already got a 3. And we've already got the rest. Okay, so now we'll do 6. 1 divided by 6. 2 divided by 6 is a third, and we've already got a third. Okay, 3 divided by 6 is a half, and we've already got a half. 4 divided by 6 is 2/3, we've already got that. 6 divided by 6 is 1, already got that. 9 divided by 6 is 3/2, we've already got that. And I think we've got the rest. Okay, so we just got those. All right, and then this is pretty much it. Now I just have to get all the negatives of these also, and just kind of negate each one. Okay, and that's it for this type. Okay, so last one, find all rational zeros. Okay, so we'll start out the same way as the last one. Okay, and keep in mind q is 1 because there's q is the first number, but if there's no number, then it's 1. Okay, list factors, and then possible rational roots. Basically, you're just taking each of these and dividing by 1, so you'll just get those back. Okay, and then you'll just get the same thing, but negative. Okay, and that's not the answer, but we'll use that to help us get the answer. Okay, once you get all the possible rational roots, now we'll test them with synthetic division. Okay, so remember with synthetic division, just all the numbers you see here, we'll put here. Okay, so x cubed, so that's just like a 1. 6 and 8. Okay, so always good to test 1 first. Usually works. So bring down this 1, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So that's good. That's what we want. So that's good to have a 0. All right, so that means two things. It means first off that x equals 1. Because of that 1 out there, that means x equals 1 is going to be one of our answers. And then to get the rest, whoops, I keep saying whoops a lot. I gotta stop saying whoops. All right. Maybe not. I'll keep saying whoops. All right. And then take these numbers and turn them into x's. set it equal to 0, and then we'll solve for x. All right, this is a normal method. So we'll just factor it according to normal method. Okay, so what two numbers multiply to be -8 and add up to be -2? Those guys. And then now just kind of set each one of these equal to 0 and solve for x. And those are our answers. Okay, so we got those, and then don't forget we got this one answer up here. And we'll just kind of put them all together. And that's it. So this one had 3 answers. And that's pretty typical to have 3 answers for that type. All right, that's it.